Hi, Linda. We're back
Hi,
again.
I'm so excited to talk to you, especially we're going to need to do a weekly show. Except I don't know if I can do one next week because I was just telling you, and I think I told the subscribers I'm having. It's like a Fraxel, but it's called dot. I've never had it done before. It's a form of laser surfacing. So I don't know if my face will be blown up like a nickel balloon. And I was telling Andre one time I went to the butcher and I was like black and blue on one side, and I had my sunglasses and a hat, and the butcher kept looking. I said, "Hey, you should see the other guy." But it'll be well worth it when it's all done. Now, listen, you guys always talk about my skin. See, I have some H marks here, but I haven't done any Fraxel or anything in quite a while, so it just rejuvenates.
Yeah, no, that's the price you pay with anything, any intervention. I mean, I can think of different surgeries, things. Things always look rough, and
And
then you
then
see
it's
the
slowly but
yeah
surely. Yeah.
slowly but surely you see the benefit. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so we're in the midst of the political season, and remember we were thinking last time we were wondering about the convention. I think it was a huge success.
It was fantastic. And you
Yeah.
said that too.
Yeah, although I was a little bit, kind of worried about maybe the Palestinian protests and that kind of thing, but
Oh,
it
they
didn't
had
turn
it
out
down
that
to
way.
a science. Now, listen, I saw some ugliness happening beneath, but it felt like it was outside of the convention.
Mm.
Well, some group, Palestinian group, got in a hotel room and threw maggots on the people's food. But that's it. That's all that. And the gal in the group said, "Hey, they shut it down, cleaned it up. FBI came in because they wanted to know how they got in there." But she said it was, although if food had done me a favor, because once I saw maggots, I wouldn't have been hungry at all.
I know it's that whole theme. It's sometimes with politics is that I guess I mean I'm not I like watching, I like studying and so forth, but I'm not in the political domain, and probably if I suggested this, they would say no, we can't do it that way. That's too risky. But why didn't the Kamala, for example? I mean, the answer is really obvious. So the reason that they can't withdraw support from Israel the way the Palestinian faction says they should is because you just say, look, there's a country of all these millions of people. Half the people think we should do this, and half the people think we should do the other thing. So which way do you want us to go? At least we're trying. We're telling you, yes, we support Israel, but no, this can't go on like this anymore.
Right.
If you put the orange turd in power, he's all in for Israel. He's not going to do anything for Palestine. So I hate to tell you this, but we're doing the best we can here. We're telling you we don't like Netanyahu. We don't like what he's doing. We want
And
to.
they don't like what he's doing either. The good news is they don't like what he's doing.
Well, exactly. But it's amazing to me that people that are on we got to do everything for Palestine say, well, we're just not going to vote. That's not a good idea. You should vote for the side that is more likely to do something for you. It's really
I
very
think
simple.
psychically, I think, and mark my words on this, I think Kamala will be the person that gets into office and actually manages to do something. She's not necessarily a Netanyahu fan either.
No,
And
she's
I
not.
see her really coming down on him. So I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but I know he can't do this taking over Gaza Strip and thinking it's his.
No, and I mean, the reading that I've done says that Israel is teetering because they've got to find a different way to do this. Otherwise, they can go bankrupt. It's just a really bad idea what they're doing, and
And
they're
they're
getting.
also killing their own hostages.
Yeah, of course.
They're
Yeah, of
bombing
course.
places where the hostages are.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, like where Netanyahu is very Trumpy, in that he's doing what he's doing primarily to protect himself because he knows that once the conflict ends, he's in trouble because he'd have
Oh,
to.
they want to bring him up on charges. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why it's happening. And, I mean, again, Kamala couldn't say this, but a really obvious thing to say would be, well, part of the reason is why do you think Israel is misbehaving? Because they have a right wing person. This is what the right wing always does. They take these directions that are extreme, irritating everybody because it's too much. You can
Right.
defend yourself without being, you know, excessive the way they've been, right?
Well, let
So,
me tell you, today I did a real short video. And when I looked, I saw, you remember how they want to get him on Trump on the Logan Act? I saw, I think even the DOJ, some inside track calling Netanyahu asking what exactly happened with Trump. I see Tim lying and saying he never talked to Trump. So they don't have anything to go on if Netanyahu said it never happened.
Who do you see lying? Tim, you said?
I saw Netanyahu, okay, they want Trump arrested on the Logan's Act because you're not supposed to interfere with a foreign entity. They said he called Netanyahu and said, don't make any ceasefire deal. That'll only go good for Biden. He probably did have that conversation. They presented it to the DOJ, and the DOJ probably started looking into it. My psychic sense was somehow or the other, when they got a hold of Netanyahu, it's like, no, I don't recall that happening, but it did happen.
Right. No, that wouldn't surprise me one bit. I mean, that's classic
Because
Trump.
he knows if he said it did happen, then they would turn on Trump. So he's saying no because he's still hoping that Trump will win.
Yeah, well, that's really his only hope. Same with Putin. You know, a number of people are totally dependent on this, but good luck with that one, you know, because the territory is very, very complicated for an outcome like that. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, not to mention that, you know, Kamala's chart is just so much stronger, you know, so it's
right.
And then something else too that I think I was telling you this earlier this week about this sense that I got about the Uranus cycle, which is, there's a lot of Uranus this year. This is why we had so many shocks. You know, he almost was assassinated, and then Biden in a way, leaving was sort of expected, but it was still shocking. And you know, we all thought, wow, that's amazing. What a change. And so there's a lot of Uranus. But what I noticed is Uranus was very active in 2016, but less in 2020, and more back again now in 24. And the thing about Uranus is that these planets have many meanings. And one of the meanings is something new, something unusual. That's what Trump was in 2016. He represented that particular energy in 2016, hence, and it was a shocking result. Now, in this case, if Kamala were to win, that's not so much shocking as it's new. It's a new direction. It was unexpected because really no one thought that it would be like this. The more logical thing would have been Biden wins and then later she takes takes charge and so forth. This way is more unexpected. So to me, this is the meaning of the Uranus cycle this year, among many. It's not the only one, but it's that thing of the newness. Because if you elect a woman, that's major, major new energy. It's not the only thing, because the other thing going on is that planet that is an actual woman, Eris. That planet is showing, really signaling, you know, women power rising right now. It's pretty clear.
Oh, guess what the latest is? What Trump announced? He's announced that if a national abortion ban comes to him as president, he will not sign it.
Yeah, sure. Well, of course, he's got to say that. You know, he's got to say that. I mean,
so what do you think of RFK? I don't see it making any difference for him.
No, RFK, I think, is a nothing burger. He also he went, well. I mean, I hate to tell you, but I mean, just look at the guy's record, what he's done. Someone asked me about, well, do you think RFK that Trump may get rid of J.D. Vance and put in RFK? Well, RFK is even worse, because if you think there are things you can attack J.D. Vance on, I mean, RFK is like a treasure trove of problems.
Right, and I saw him wanting to do that, but psychically, I got a hit that he's got people around him saying, "Dude, don't do it. You're gonna mess it worse than it already is."
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't do it.
No. So, and then I think there's at most maybe an extra point for Trump, if that. It may not even be. It may be nothing, you know, in terms of the actual result. But
well, people who were voting for RFK voted for him because they didn't want Trump.
Yeah, and then I mean, some people are on both sides that are anti-vax, and you know, they follow the more conspiratorial side of it. But I remember saying last year that he was likely to reach, like, very similar to DeSantis, once Jupiter got out of entered Gemini, because the whole thing was Jupiter was helping him up to about the middle of the year, and then things just started to drop, and now I mean, he's going nowhere. Basically, in
fact, you said, because of Uranus, you said expect surprises even before Biden stepped down. You said that.
Well, no, that's true. Yeah, even now, I'm still, you know, kind of wondering. You know, my guess, but of course, then it wouldn't be a surprise if I say it, I suppose. But my guess is that if there are surprises, they're more likely to come now from the Trump side rather than the Kamala side. But I'm still paying attention. Like basically right now, we're in it between now and about the September 10th or so. Uranus is stationing. It's very strong, right? And it's
Because I'm even feeling lately, I've been feeling maybe he's not going to debate. You know why? Because he can't afford to lose anymore, and he takes that risk with debating her.
he does, but then look at the risk if he doesn't debate. I mean, this is the problem,
But
right?
he might come up with he's sick or something.
Possibly. The thing with that one is this: that when I looked at the debate, it's not so much the debate day that tells me the story. It's that the 10 days after that, it's rough for him because Mars is going through this part of the chart he doesn't like at all. Those degrees in early cardinal that match when the Hollywood bus came up and all that, the Access Hollywood thing, he doesn't like that. So if he's raging, you can count on the fact that he's upset, he doesn't like it. The debate is in the, just before that, so.
And he's mad at J.D. Vance, but J.D. Vance isn't the problem, it's him. He always blames others. And I think he promised RFK a position in his administration.
Well, sure, but this is like a promise when you say to someone, if I win, the lottery, I'll give you some of it. But I know, sure, you have to have it first, right? So.
I always, when I bought my ticket, I'd tell the person, listen, if I win, I'm going to mention you in my will. And I mind you, I'm just going to mention you.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't amount to anything.
But we were talking about two people and you've said, no, I don't think this person will win. And then you took a look-see at his chart and you came up with something else. So tell us about
Yeah. So based on past trends, and it's Missouri. Missouri. Yeah, you got to face the fact Missouri, Texas, it's not fertile ground for winning elections on the blue side. But this was Josh Hawley and the other guy, Luke something. I can't remember his last name. But then I looked at both charts, and Luke's looks really good. So that's a major threat.
That's why I was surprised you said that, because psychically, I think I told my people even, I feel Josh Hawley's going to lose this time.
Well, then, yeah, the possibility is
He doesn't even live in Missouri. He uses his sister's address.
Yeah, he carries, the thing is, when you're an incumbent, you carry a certain amount of, reputation and whatever, and it's Missouri and all the rest. But his problem, like many of these people are having this problem, is that they're in the middle of this women's rights thing. This is lethal stuff. The other thing is, you saw what he did, that video that came out where he challenges Luke in the middle of a thing, and I thought, what are you doing? He's obviously worried.
Fair. I know.
Yeah, he went up and, hey, let's debate right now. And Luke just said, we'll debate when we debate. He was being the adult. So he's trying to create, media.
Oh, yeah, he's Mr. Stepping outside and doing this and
doing the thing.
With his panties all up in a twirl.
Yeah, no, exactly. And they're getting the swirl of women's rights, the fact that, because they say, I want nothing to do with that. That's all in the Project 2025. They'll give you the page and the chapter, like it's all there, what they're writing about it. And a lot of the religiosity, they want to create a kind of, religious cult type thing running the country. That's what Josh Hawley is. Josh Hawley's like Bill Barr. They've got this idea that the country should be run by white Christian males who have power and money and, and can tell you what to do. And the U.S., it's hard to tell anyone what to do about anything. The U.S. resists that, right? So to me, it's really smart, too, that the Democratic Party now uses the words they used to use, like freedom, freedom. That's usually...
And waving the flag, USA.
Exactly, yeah.
Trump's thing.
Yeah, no, and why? Because according to Trump, this country is an asshole country now, according to him.
Yeah.
But
and also, he said he had nothing to do with that Project 2025.
Yeah, sure.
But his handprints are all over it.
Well,
and then he's saying he won't pass the national bill for abortion. He's desperate. That's a desperate move, because look who he's pissing off now. Those religious people that wanted him.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I this is where the advocacy is very important. You just have to realize that the world works like this. This is like the thing how the Biden-Trump debate. If you just read the debate in a paper, you realize, oh, Biden is the smart one and this is the
Yeah,
stupid guy.
when you read what do they call when they type it
The
all
transcript.
out?
The
The
transcript, right?
transcript.
Yeah, right. But the problem is projecting the message. This is where Kamala is really dangerous to him because she's very good at this and she's gained a lot of power over recent years. That was another thing that I didn't focus on enough, that during the White House years, she was having Pluto squaring Sun and Moon. I know the Pluto energy, when you go through it, it really empowers you. It's the kind of thing where you go through a big change and you really find your voice, you find your way of being. She's projecting in a very different way. In fact, I think this is one of the surprising things because everybody thought, oh, Kamala's no good. She's not, because they remember a couple of interviews she did during the administration period when she was VP. She wasn't very good then, but she's grown into this really
And
strong.
let me tell you, did you notice Biden takes her along for these big meetings? He
Of course, yeah.
lock her in the closet like she's learning from him. She's learning from the master because talk about a negotiator. Biden is a master.
He's really good. And then whatever was going on in her own psyche, you can just feel it. Everything she's done, through this whole process is really, really good. What she did with the speech, it was totally rock solid. I mean, Trump was trying to attack her, saying things on Truth Antisocial, whatever that thing is, right? He was saying things, but it's all coming up. I mean,
She's not even, when did she become black?
I know, or like I'm better looking than her, and please. I mean, the man is. I mean, what does that even mean?
Here's a plus. She doesn't wear diapers.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another
But
thing.
you know that James Carville?
Yes.
Did you see? I'm not sure how much of this is true. You got to be careful with rumors because everybody was saying, I heard an inside information that Beyonce was going to be at the thing. And I do see Beyonce and probably Taylor Swift both performing, but it seems like it's during when they already win, the big party.
Yeah.
So James Carville and President Clinton, they were throwing this around, but it could just be a rumor, that they were going to have during this convention, have certain people come up and talk, and then you voted on who you like better. But it was Biden who threw Kamala in.
So, and James Carville said this? This is what you're saying?
No, well, this is the input from Midas Touch and stuff, was that James Carville was part of this group that wanted to have people, what do you call it? Like when you go and try out for something?
Like a survey or a
Well, that's when they came up with all those names. Remember, they were talking about Michigan, Governor Newsom. They were going to bring them all up and try them, see if they fit.
Yeah, it's tricky though with a lot of those things that the rumors.
Yeah.
I always like waiting for 2 or 3 sources because, I'll hear something. Oh,
Well-
where is it? It's on Twitter. Or, okay, wait. I'm gonna wait till the mainstream
The other
outlets.
thing is, I do see Beyonce performing for her, but it's more like that when she wins the inaugural ball or something like that.
Yeah, and it's a lot more important if Beyonce and Taylor Swift endorse Kamala and call on their followers to vote, because especially Taylor Swift, she has a big pull with young people.
Oh, she will say though, she will endorse them.
Yeah, well, that's critical because there's been a big shift. I've heard this said in multiple places that since 2016 and even 2020, but especially 2016, there are a lot less boomers and a lot more young people, and that's a problem for the MAGA crowd, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, because it alters the vote.
And they're saying Kamala, she's got 45 down. 45, like for me, I get 55 and up as people who watch my show. But for her, the people that are really coming out, I'm surprised it's not my age too, because a lot of women, they don't want their youngsters and grandchildren to go through things that they never had to deal with. So, but they said 45 down, she's getting all kinds of people backing her.
Yeah, and that's really helpful. It's really helpful, and they have good reason to, because they have skin in the game. I mean, this is a big election that way, when people are trying to take away rights, or also the gun issue around just common sense stuff like red flag laws, background checks, getting rid of the AR-15s. This is basic stuff that 90% of the country thinks should be done, you know. So you
Right.
just do it, get it done, you know, once and for
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
You know, when we get closer to when you take a look at the planets, when we get on the actual election day,
Hmm.
I know some people say, even her, she said, it's going to be close. This is going to be a fight. And I understand why they need to say that, because they don't want people to relax like they did with Hillary. Oh, she's got it in the bag. But I think she might take it like Obama did.
Well, that would be huge. Well, Obama was big, big, big. He's up there in
It's
350 electoral
300
votes.
something.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. I mean, the thing is with if Trump is, which again, this is another thing. I'm not ready yet to even say Trump gets to the finish line, just because that chart is not doing well. Sorry, it's not doing well, and I see this in astrology a lot, especially the older you are and the way he lives. It's risky stuff. You know, it's one thing that someone tried to kill him. That's there too, and I mean it was pretty close. But even within his own energy patterns, it's not great. But if he's there, and maybe even if he isn't, because now they're so programmed, you know, to complain and say that it's all rigged. I mean, like people like Carrie Lake and you know, and people like that. So I doubt that we'll be able to say 100% the president, you know, it's totally settled in November. It's probably going to be a while because they're going to be arguing, you know, about
But I think
something.
she'll win enough, bigger than Biden did.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and the bigger the win is, the better because there is less. You can't argue as much, right? It's that
But
simple.
listen, I didn't bring up Barr to you again. You've read on Barr before. But I had a hit. When I get a hit out of the blue, it usually means something's up. Something's up with Barr.
What do you think is up?
I think he's in trouble, big trouble.
Of what kind? I mean, because
I don't know. Anytime I threw the cards on him, it was terrible. And you know, there's a lot of things he did interfering with what he shouldn't have, like getting rid of the Epstein situation to protect his father and to protect the Trumps. But there's other things he's done that are slowly coming out. I think he's in big trouble.
Well, he is a. You see, this is the many Geminis, and again, let me for everyone. If you're a Gemini, this doesn't apply to you necessarily. It could apply to you too, but don't start saying, "Oh my God, I'm a Gemini." It's the way you live. It's the way you could. The chart is the combination of your will and your planets. What are you doing to express your planets? So Barr is Gemini, MTG is Gemini, Trump is Gemini. They're all kind, you know, Marco Rubio. They're all these Geminis. And if you've been doing, you know, crooked things, and we know Trump has for sure, and Bill Barr, I mean, he does them in the open, by the way. I mean, when he was Attorney General, he was helping Trump in all kinds of ways to pardon people, and he wouldn't investigate certain things. He would tackle and block for
Oh, look
Trump.
what they did to Michael Cohen.
Yeah, as an example, among
Interfered
many.
and made him go back to jail. And then when even the administration or the Justice Department said that wasn't cool, then when he went to sue Barr and everybody, they said, no, you can't sue them.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, Barr, he was doing it all the way back in the George H.W. Bush years. He's a total Republican lackey. He just
But
pulls for
he'll
them.
cheat and lie and do what he has to do.
Yeah, and it's very. Bill Barr is very similar to Josh Hawley. I've read articles on these two guys where they describe the views as, you know, religiosity. That's why Barr says that he doesn't like Trump at all now. He found out, but the rest of us knew. But he said, no, I'm still voting for him. Well, why? Because the progressive thing is even worse. How is it even worse? How? You know, when you said this guy is unfit to do anything, right? So, yeah, so Bill Barr being a Gemini, we're in that period where things can get dicey for sure. And then if someone like Jack Smith continues to work the case, it's dangerous because there might be something, you know, there that he did. Because when you're doing a lot, it's just sort of the rule that, you know, people do one crooked thing, two, three. The more you add, the more something might be, you know, you might leave a fingerprint. But I'll tell you though, with Barr, the thing about him is he's really smart, even though he's, you know, not exactly, in my opinion, ethical, but he's hard to catch that way because that's why he wouldn't follow Trump. You know, when Trump wanted to do the funny thing, he said,
Oh,
no, no,
turn
no,
it
no,
around. Yeah,
we're not doing that.
that was a road he couldn't travel.
No, but I think one of the reasons is he thought, I'm not getting in the middle of this. I'm not going to start doing this and then becoming, legally liable. You do that if you feel like doing it.
Right.
So that's the
Well,
reason.
he was still under the guise of the administration when he was doing those other illegal things.
Yeah.
But when Trump lost and he knew he lost fair and square, he couldn't take that risk because then he'd be tossed into the Biden administration.
Yeah, no, exactly. It'd be too risky. So yeah.
So anybody else you were looking at?
Well, there was the case of you asked about this. The guy in Pennsylvania, Scott Perry.
Yeah.
He's running. This is a fascinating one because he's running against someone named Janelle
How?
Stelson, right?
Oh,
Janelle Stelson. So that's an important House seat because the House, it's all very tight right now. So anything you can win, you can flip basically. And this guy has been there a long time. And the curious thing is, they're both born May 27th, but she's born 2 years before him
Okay.
and in a different place. And in both cases, I only have the day. I don't have the time of birth, but I have the day of birth. And so the charts are really similar because the sun is the same position and some things are similar, but hers is better than his. So that to me looks like a potential flip,
Ooh, I love
and
it.
and once again, think about it. She and this is again how you see optics. Because at first I thought, okay, who is this person? So it turns out it's this attractive woman who is a media. I think she worked in TV or something. And I thought, oh, here's the trouble because she's gonna throw the women's rights at you. And we're in that year. You've been there a long time. He's kind of ultra right wing, right? So that race looks good to me as a
Okay, good.
as a flip, right? Yeah, which
Good.
is good. Yeah. So, anyone else that we haven't covered, or any other?
We're gonna be getting a lot of names coming up, and we'll take a look, see at the tight ones.
At the tight ones, yeah. No, there
Yeah.
are going to be quite a few, yeah, for sure, for sure. All right. Well, I guess we'll leave
How
it.
does our President Biden look? Have you looked at his chart? Is he okay with his health?
Well, but Biden, he's a case of the energy that affected at least his well-being because he hasn't really had a health event per se, other than
Right.
he had COVID. But no, it's still there. So right now, between, like, I'm going to say, I would lump August and September in there, especially the period we're in now. If he gets through into October, then I think it's less of an issue. But something could happen. But I don't know that. Do you see anything serious? I
No.
don't. No. I mean, just that there's pressure around the health pattern. It
I
continues
see
to be there.
another big name going who's in. Somebody really old is gonna cross. I don't know who it is. It might be a Republican, an old Republican. I just flashed that. I just saw like on the news, so-and-so has passed. I think he's still in the House, but he might have retired, but I just saw that. But listen, did you real quick, September 18th, the day that Trump is supposed to go in and get his penalty?
Yeah, remember.
How did that look that day?
Well, no, it doesn't look good for him.
Oh.
It does not. The problem with this logic, though, is that he has had a great deal of luck stalling, delaying, getting people to help him. And the day when it's announced, which is, I believe, the 16th, it's 2 days before, right? That's when he.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and that isn't great either, but when I saw where Venus is in a trine, I kind of thought maybe, who knows, maybe the guy, he forestalls, right? But what I know is that after the 18th, it's not good for him in the 2 weeks after that. It's really bad. So it could be because of that reason, but if not, don't worry, there'll be some other reason.
There'll be
'Cause,
something
I mean,
else coming up.
this guy, he's just, everything is piling on, and
Yeah.
he's gonna ramp up the insanity of making things up and making
Oh, yeah,
mountains
like
molehills.
announcing, if it comes to my desk, if the national abortion ban, I'm gonna veto it. That's bull. That's bull pucky. But why would he do that? Because he's desperate to take votes away from Kamala. That's my,
Correct, but that's where in a debate, especially, that's up to Kamala. She's got to bring that up and say, nobody believes that, right? You realize that nobody believes that. What they believe is you on camera saying, "I'm really proud that I did this." That's what counts. The rest
that's
is
what,
talk.
oh, yeah.
You talk like blah, blah, but you did what you did, right? So that's the
Yeah,
bottom line.
like you're 6'2" and 215 pounds.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
nobody believes that.
That's funny. Yeah.
Well, my friend, it was lovely seeing you on this beautiful Sunday.
Likewise, likewise. All right. We'll continue
Okay.
soon, I'm sure. Next week, hopefully.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everyone.